Hi, welcome back. I'm in the process of currently doing a sort of Q&A video series. I'm not sure how many days I'll be posting, but I'm kind of like recording in quick succession at the moment to try and answer some questions from my Instagram story. Today's one is going to be on how to show proof if you're a ghostwriter, or how to show social proof if you don't have any yet, or if you haven't been given sort of public proof. A lot of what I do is ghostwriting or writing for marketing agencies, where technically the marketing agency is my client, but I'm writing for some really big brands, and you want to be able to kind of showcase that, and you can't always. It's very annoying. But the first one is your contracts. So in your contract, include that they have to offer a testimonial, or that they have to provide feedback. It doesn't have to be public, but that they can provide feedback. And then, you can have that conversation. 9 times out of 10, you don't have to uphold it if they've had a negative experience. But to be perfectly honest, negative experience is just as good as positive experience for making your services better and your process better. It's not always as powerful, but you can ask for a quote that would be anonymous. So sometimes I've done it where I've asked for a testimonial and they've given me a testimonial, and the that rather than having like their name and their company, it will be like business leader in the lifestyle space. And it's annoying because it's not as it's not as powerful to sort of have an anonymous quote, but it's still better than nothing. The other thing that you can do is, if you have profiles set up, so like my Upwork profile, that only has their username, so it's not necessarily anonymous. It's like proven because they've hired me and they've given me feedback, but it also doesn't have their full name and the full business that they're working for. It sometimes just has the name of the person that hired me. So that's really important for setting up profiles like that, so you can do Upwork, freelancer, things like that. So you can connect with people on LinkedIn. So at the moment I'm doing a lot of this where I connect with clients on LinkedIn and they leave me a personal recommendation. So it's not necessarily linked to the business. It's not necessarily linking their clients to the business, but I'll see if I can put a few up for examples. But they are people that I've worked with, and that's where I will direct people to go if they want, sort of recommendations that I am who I say I am and that I work well. I think it's really difficult as a ghostwriter to provide proof, especially in the beginning. So where possible, I would suggest asking if you can use one of the pieces. So like if you've been working for a client for say a month and you've written 10 pieces for them, asking if you can include any of those pieces in your portfolio. So even though you can't show social proof, which is obviously where you have someone from a business saying you're great, you can show physical work that you've provided. It's always important to ask that question though, because some contracts where you're ghostwriting does not permit you to say that you've actually written it at all. So adding it to your portfolio will be in breach of a contract or an NDA if you've signed it. So it's always best to ask and to get written confirmation, so that if anything were to happen, you've got that written confirmation from the company that you have permission to share it. Always ask. I think you'd be surprised, even if you're a ghostwriter, how many people are willing to give you either a personal recommendation or to allow you to use things in your portfolio. It took me a long time to get actual proof outside of Upwork that I was doing about the things I was doing. I was writing about 5,000 words a day for people at one point, and I had basically nothing to show. Like I physically couldn't prove that I was doing it, other than if you watch me sit there and write 5,000 pieces a day. So it's really important to just communicate with your clients. If you have clients who you have a relationship with, just ask them for a recommendation, ask them for proof, ask them, even if they can't do anything to do with their clients, there's nothing to stop them saying that you work for the marketing agency. So that's already something that you can prove that you're doing, that's outside of all the stuff that you're doing, that you're writing. So ask is the number one thing. try and include it in your contract. Some people don't like it. Some people want NDAs. Some people want everything hush hush. And that's your choice whether to take it or not. But I don't recommend going against that. I don't recommend going against an NDA either. So ask, communicate, and if in doubt, so this is the less favoured option. I, for a long time, did, I don't know what you'd call it, but I basically did free for testimonial pieces where I'd go onto a Facebook group of business owners and I'd say, look, I'm offering 3 blog posts, but I want public testimonials, feedback, etc. If you have a good experience, which they all did, I was very confident that they would have a good experience, but as part of that contract, you would receive this piece for free with the normal standard of service, so edits, etc., personalization, all that sort of thing. But you have to be able to provide me, and I have to be able to showcase it. And I don't necessarily have to be the author on your website. I don't have to do that, but I have to be able to put it on my website. I have to be able to include it in my portfolio. And so if you're really struggling, it's a good way to get that social proof. But I would just be hesitant about how many of those you offer, because I tried to offer 6 once. And I think I offered 6 at 1,000 words. I mean, it was just the biggest mistake of my life, because I then had 6,000 words and I had to get them done in the same sort of caliber of standard that I would normally provide other people, because that was the point, to get a testimonial for how good I was. And it was the most stressful week of my life because I had other clients on top of that to do. So don't recommend doing that. Maybe start off with 1 or 2, like 1 or 2 things, or even 1 thing. And if you're a consultant, for example, offer, say, an hour of your services. But yeah, so you can do that, but just be wary about, how much you offer. So yeah, those have been all the ways that you can create social proof as a ghostwriter or someone who is sort of working in the background or behind the scenes. Hope it's been helpful. If you have any more questions on this or anything else that you want me to cover, put it in the comments or in my Instagram. My Instagram handle will be somewhere around here. So yeah. Cool. I'm moving on to the next video. Okay, bye.